Welcome to the real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. The real Ramblers movie talk for fanatics. And now your hosts, Bill and Lee Howard.
Hello and welcome to the Real Ramblers. I've never said your host.
Oh.
Should I say? Maybe we should add that. I am your host. One of your hosts. Well, see, then it doesn't sound right. Because then I am your host, Bill, and this is the other one of your hosts.
That's too much.
Yeah,
that's too much.
So I'll go back to the original.
Hello.
I am Bill. No, I'm not going to say hello. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Real Ramblers. I am your host, Bill. I said it. See that?
Holy
I said
shit.
it. See, once you implant it in the brain, then your brain just says that is what we are saying from now on.
And me, Lee.
Anyway, I'm Bill. That's Lee.
I'm Lee.
And welcome to the Real Ramblers, where we will be tackling part 2 of our examination of the films adapted from Stephen King works, or films that Stephen King just wrote.
Saw. Yeah.
So last episode, we covered everything from the first film adapted of his works, Carrie, up to 1989 with Mary Lambert's Pet Sematary. Lots of good ones in there that we really enjoyed. So now we're going to tackle the modern era of Stephen King adaptations, which kicks off in a very good place.
Modern, like 1990. It's like, it sounds like it should be, but
it's not.
Holy shit, that was 30 years ago or something.
34.
Fuck off. Time.
34 years ago. All right. Anyway, 1990.
Now I'm sad.
Rob Reiner again.
Ooh.
Returns to the world of Stephen King after Stand By Me, which was stellar.
Yeah.
And comes back with Misery.
Flawless.
Flawless. And 2 of the most killer performances.
So good.
James Caan and Kathy Bates are both in top form.
Yeah.
And so tense. So
she was nominated, right?
Riveting.
For an Oscar for this?
She was,
I think,
And most of the action taking place in like one room.
Yeah.
And holy crap, what a great movie.
I rewatched it again, I don't know, 6 months ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, it also still holds up and still effective.
Yeah.
You know, even though you know what's going to happen, but like when she's going out for the paper, the proper paper.
Yeah.
And he's like manages to pick the lock and he's like looking around and like, holy fuck, she's coming home. Like, oh.
Yeah, it might be one of the more Hitchcock.
I can see that.
Adaptations, because it's very much got that suspense. Of like you never know when she's going to come back in the door, and also a great supporting performance by Richard Farnsworth.
He's
great.
Kind of in the Scatman Crothers role, really, if you think about what happens.
But he's great. I also love him in The Natural, which on one of these episodes, I don't know which one. I don't think we're going to do a baseball episode, but The Natural is like, for me, one of the best.
I got beef with The Sandlot, so we can get in. I'm just kidding.
Maybe we can. Field of Dreams.
League of Their Own.
We might be able to do a baseball episode. Holy crap, that's weird.
Space Jam? No, basketball.
No, not basketball. Anyway, Misery is, just perfection. And one of those great winter horror movies. Where you can just snuggle up with a blanket in the fireplace on and watch it and you're there.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, what else even can you say? It's like perfect. They're both so good. And culturally, like it impacted culture too, because it's like people still now will be like, I'm your number one fan. And you know what I mean? Even if they don't know that's kind of a callback to that movie. It's just that phrase alone even is kind of entered the lexicon, and people
totally. On a side note with Crazy Fans, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I think it was the first movie Clint Eastwood ever directed. Was one of the only movies he's ever done that's been close to a horror movie called Play Misty for Me.
Oh, I saw it ages ago. Like a long time ago. Yeah,
He's a disc jockey and a girl gets obsessed with him.
Right.
And
she does that painting of him or something like that. Yeah, because I remember somebody asked me to paint that for them.
Really, that'd be cool.
There wasn't a good enough like angle of that painting to make a good reference photo for me. It was always like on an angle, but
Wow, great movie.
I did see that. Hey, don't take a shot. I saw that movie.
Yeah, that's right. So also in 1990, we're back to Stephen King in miniseries form with It. at the time, iconic. I loved it.
Sure.
Tim Curry, all-time great performance. Great cast of TV actors.
Yeah.
Revisiting it feels very
very
TV.
dated.
Yeah, still had a bad ending that didn't work. Like, God bless him for trying, but
with the spider monster and stuff like that. Yeah, it just
spider.
It's funny because, and again,
it had some cool scenes.
Yeah, and obviously, like Tim Curry was great. But I think that's another case of nostalgia making people be like, no, it's better.
I think so,
but it's like, you know, it was a TV movie, so they couldn't go crazy with the scares.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a TV actor kind of cast, even though they were good people, but it's like...
Yeah, and even like the adults were good. The kids were really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just didn't have the high bar of quality that it needed.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was big.
It was, yeah, for sure. And it obviously it was like
when it first came out.
Culturally impacted, you know, everyone was
and
like
in 1990, it was something where we were like, this is cool to see on TV.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
That was a pretty big thing.
Yeah. I'd like to rewatch it again at some point just to give it that revisit because it's been a really long time. But
I've revisited it and it doesn't necessarily hold up great, but it's always worth watching just for Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Then there was a 2-year break from nobody doing anything Stephen King, and then Mick Garris did Sleepwalkers. Sleepwalkers did well, I think.
I mean, I know it. I know I saw it way back in the day.
You know what's funny is I was working video stores at the time, and we used to go to video store retailer conventions where they would show all the new stuff, and they actually had Brian Krause from that movie autographing stuff, and I still have the autograph photo.
Yeah.
And he was super, super nice. He was great.
That's cool. That was really like when CGI, when they're like, they do this thing called morphing.
Morphing was
it was like, I mean, it was in everything, but I remember Premiere Magazine had like, it was like still like next picture, step by steps of his face morphing into the cat.
Yeah.
And the cat face. And at the time, people were just like, I can't believe my fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
what is this magic?
You watch it now and it's very dated, obviously. And it's kind of funny to watch it now. But at the time, people are just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
But the funny thing is, I revisited it, I don't know, a year ago or something. And aside from the effects, I think it's pretty effective.
Right.
Alice Cridge is great.
Oh, she's awesome. She's the Borg Queen in Star Trek, and she's amazing.
Yeah. She's great in it. The story's
Isn't
cool.
there weird stuff, though, with like kind of incesty relationships?
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time. And I don't even think it's implied. I think
it's just like straight up like...
Yeah, it's straight up.
Yuck.
But I mean, it works in the story.
I guess.
But yeah, there's some really cool stuff in it. And it's probably one of my more favorite Mick Garris things. He's interesting. Mick Garris is a guy who he's super talented and he's super passionate and a super great guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like somebody hasn't given him the chance. Like, give the dude some money and some freedom, and I bet you he'd
because he's like,
classic.
I mean, he's a horror icon.
Yeah, and he knows horror. Yep. And I think like Flanagan, he'd cast friends, and regulars, and I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Mm-hmm. There's still time. Somebody give Mick a chance to do something new if he's still interested in directing. Then a year later, one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations with The Dark Half.
Right. That's one I wanted to watch, but didn't get a chance.
You didn't get a chance? No. So this was George Romero coming back to Stephen King territory. Okay. And Timothy Hutton as the lead character, who is a writer who writes regular books that don't sell, and then under a pseudonym, he writes violent thrillers that are bestsellers.
Cool.
And he decides, I'm sick and tired of this pseudonym and writing these crap novels that are pulp. And he decides, I'm publicly going to announce that I'm that author, and I'm not going to write that character anymore.
Right.
And when he does that, the character becomes real and starts killing people. And Timothy Hutton plays both roles, and he plays the bad guy role in prosthetics.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
And the prosthetics are great, and he plays the role really, really well. Huh. And Romero handles the subject matter beautifully. It's really well done. Michael Rooker's the sheriff in the town. Nice. The same sheriff that's played by Ed Harris in Needful Things.
Oh wow, same character. Oh, that's so cool. I love it. It's kind of like a sort of shared universe.
I think there's something else with that character too, and I can't remember right now. Huh. But yeah, Dark Half is one of my favorites. It's creepy, it's scary. Timothy Hutton is amazing. Another dude who I think that guy's so underrated.
I always remember. I feel like you had the poster in your room for that for a long time. So it's like I really remember the poster. And
No, it's a great movie and well worth revisiting. And it's funny that the same year was Needful Things. Who had the same Alan Pangborn was the sheriff.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's funny
remind me about Needful Things. I feel like my mind's blanking on it.
So Needful Things was Max von Sydow. Who, come on, fucking legend. He plays a guy who opens a curios shop in this little town.
Cheerios?
Yeah, Cheerios. Okay. And Bonnie Bedelia lives in this town, who is fantastic.
Yeah.
Which, her multiple Stephen King. She was in Salem's Lot.
Oh, yeah, Bonnie B.
Bonnie B. So Max von Sydow, it's kind of insinuated that he might be the devil.
Right.
And
it's familiar.
He lures, people come in and find connections to objects for some weird
Cheerios,
reason.
the other cereals.
Right.
Yep.
And then he gives them the thing and says, "You'll do me a favor someday."
Okay.
And then gets them to do something horrible.
Oh, neat. Okay.
Against somebody else in the town. And then that person retaliates. And it's really, really cool. And it just recently came out on 4K and included the 4K was a director's cut that was much longer and had way more story in it.
Oh, that's cool.
But Max von Sydow is
amazing
in it. And everybody else, Bonnie Bedelia and Ed Harris is her boyfriend, who is the sheriff.
Oh, yeah, shit. Right, okay,
and Ed Harris, awesome in it, too.
That's awesome.
But it's another one that's very King, because it's small town, everybody knows everybody, and there's dark secrets.
Did it, do well when it came out, or did it kind of just come and go?
I don't remember if it did well.
Yeah.
But it was solid. I really, really liked it. Then 1 year later, probably the most well-regarded Stephen King adaptation, which is The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, which...
good old Frank Darabont, another guy who is vastly underappreciated.
Yep.
And everybody's seen, come on, you ask anybody what their favorite movies are, and Shawshank's always up there.
I love, I mean, we've talked about it before on maybe one of our first podcasts.
Yeah, so
episodes, I mean.
Brilliant all the way around, brilliant performances by literally everybody down to the smallest character in that movie.
So good. William Sadler, I love in that movie. William Sadler is always so great.
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. Fantastic story arc.
Are you gonna eat that? I found him by the fucking. I lost the line. The old guy.
That was so disappointing.
I don't think I'm gonna stick around.
We're just gonna shut down.
That's the saddest part. I cry all the time.
Yeah,
it's so heartbreaking.
It is.
I don't think they'll kick up any fuss.
And that guy was so good.
Holy fuck!
I love a good prison movie. I really do. And there's a lot of good ones. Innocent Man, if you've never seen it, with Tom Selleck.
I maybe saw it again forever ago.
It's great. Even Lockup with Stallone.
Oh, right, Lockup. I forgot about that
prison movie.
Shit.
Great prison movie. Yeah, there's lots of great. We could do a whole episode on prison movies. There's so many that are great.
Specific.
Yeah. Why not?
We'll go different workplaces.
I wanted at one point to do an episode that was all about small town crime movies.
Oh, okay.
Because I love those, Out of the Furnace and The Town. And that are all about little towns that have crime happen. There's a lot of them. It's a whole subgenre. But what is there to say about Shawshank?
It's perfect.
It really is perfect. With pitch perfect performances all the way around.
I hope to see my friend again. Shake his hand. I hope.
It's just great.
Yeah.
The same year, the miniseries for The Stand, which I misspoke earlier when I said Sleepwalkers, because I think by far The Stand is the best thing that Mick Garris has done.
Okay. And that's one I never saw when it was on TV.
No?
No.
So you've never seen it at all?
No.
Oh, it's actually really, really good.
Oh, cool. I don't know what it is about the TV movies that I never, I don't want to say they didn't appeal to me, but I never kind of got around to them. I was always just watching movies. There's some
really stellar TV movies. But anyway, this one, for a book that was unadaptable, it's really well put together with some amazing. Rob Lowe's great.
Oh, right. Okay. I feel like I remember the covers of TV Guide. Being the cover. Yeah, because it was a big thing.
I think it did really well. And it's really good. I think Was it that? No, his version of The Shining is about to come out on Blu-ray for the first time.
Oh shit! Cool.
I think The Stand's already on Blu-ray.
Oh, wow.
And they just recently did a redo of The Stand, and it was garbage.
They did, didn't they?
They did a new miniseries of The Stand, and it was junk. I hated it.
Yeah, I feel like I remember people like, oh, it's coming out, and then it's like they buried it like a dirty secret.
Yeah, they did. But Mick Garris's The Stand is great.
Cool. Okay,
look it up and watch it. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's got a TV feel to it, but it's also got an epic feel to it, and the arc of the story is really, really well done. It's great. Awesome. A year later, another more drama with Dolores Claiborne.
That's another one. I feel like I maybe saw it, but I have no memory of it.
It was Kathy Bates again and Jennifer Jason Leigh.
More of like almost drama, right?
It is more of a drama, but there's thriller elements within it, but really well done, really moody and atmospheric and great performances.
Kathy Bates is so good.
Oh my God.
Everyone knows this. It's a dumb thing to say. Like people don't already know it, but it's just like, holy fuck. She's so good in like everything she does.
Everything.
Like all the American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I remember that people always used to make fun of it, but it's a fucking great movie is Fried Green Tomatoes.
Okay. I've never actually saw it. I didn't know.
It's so good.
Huh.
It's just a story, and it's almost like one of those small town stories,
right.
But it takes place over a large period of time, and it's multiple people's stories, but it's so well written, so well directed, and everybody in it is so good. You should watch it. It's really good.
I love Kathy. Even like her stint on The Office, it's like and it's
she
crazy.
Nails everything
they were all like, I listened to the Office Ladies podcast, and they were like, we just couldn't believe like, wait, we got Kathy Bates? Like, how the fuck did we do this? Like, this is why would she do our show?
Yeah.
And she was super funny.
Titanic. She was great.
Oh my
Titanic.
God, right. Yeah. Everything.
As the unsinkable Molly Brown.
She's so good.
97 was The Shining miniseries, which we talked about.
Oh, okay, yeah.
98 was another that I think is a very underappreciated Stephen King adaptation, which is Apt Pupil.
Yeah.
With Ian McKellen.
That was crazy. Brad Renfro.
I knew it was Brad.
I feel like that's the first thing I saw Ian McKellen in.
Really?
I believe so. I think I saw that.
So
when did X-Men come out? When did this Apt Pupil come out?
That was 98.
98.
And it wasn't X-Men like
2000?
Yeah.
Or something? So this is the first thing I saw him in.
So it's basically the story of a boy who finds out that his neighbor is a former Nazi and decides he's going to blackmail him.
Yeah. And he becomes like obsessed with him.
Yeah.
In a really unhealthy way.
And Ian McKellen is like, it's one of the creepiest performances.
He's terrifying in it.
He's very really scary. Yeah.
And if you ever wanted to see David Schwimmer with a mustache in it.
Yeah, which who wouldn't want to see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in was it Innocent Blood? It was sorry. It was Wolf. I rewatched that Nicholson movie. He shows up for 2 seconds as a cop trying to arrest Wolf Nicholson. And I was just like, what the fuck, Ross? Okay, anyway, that was it. But
anyway, Apt Pupil is one that a lot of people listening maybe were like, I've even never heard of it.
Yeah.
Or because it went really under the radar and didn't really go anywhere. But really, and it holds up. I watched it not too long ago, and it's terrifying and very, it's like psychological.
Yeah, very. Yeah.
And, but it's worth watching just for, Brad Renfro's great too.
Yeah.
But it's worth seeing for the Ian McKellen performance. It's very chilling.
It was just a little bit earlier. We kind of skipped over it, but I actually rewatched it kind of semi recently. It was Thinner. And I think that was that Garris as well. Is that Mick Garris?
It could be.
Maybe I could be wrong. So forgive me if I'm wrong.
What's his name? Robert David.
Yeah, Robert David Burke. Yeah. And it's like I was never a big reader. Yeah, he took over as RoboCop. Yeah. I was never a big reader, but for whatever reason, I do remember that I read the novel Thinner when I was young. Yeah, and that was when he released it as Richard Bachman.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
I don't know if I've ever seen Thinner.
It's like okay.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
But it's not like anything that'll blow your socks off.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's good in it. The special effects are like pretty cool and stuff like that. So it's just like, it's kind of like one of those Sunday afternoon movies.
Right.
If you're feeling sick and it's snowy out and stuff, and it's like, it's okay.
You're like, I got nothing to do and I eat too much. So I'm going to watch Thinner.
Yeah. So it's like, it's nothing awesome, but it was like, for me, because I had actually read the book, I was like, oh, cool, this movie's coming out.
Nice.
And it was just like, okay, it was all right.
Well, in 99, another TV miniseries, Storm of the Century, with Canada's own Colm Feore as the villain.
Nice. That guy's great.
The rest of the cast was great too. I don't off the top of my head, I don't remember everybody in it, but it was a lot of good character actors. And it's basically about a bunch of people trapped during this storm of the century.
Yeah.
And it's really good. Huh. And it's very supernatural. And it was even though it's long because it was a miniseries, it held my attention the whole time. It was very tense and really great atmosphere and really great performances. It's solid.
Nice.
That same year, Frank Darabont comes back with Green Mile.
Oh boy.
Green Mile for me is only a slight notch under Shawshank.
Yeah. Like, it's incredible. It's really so fucking sad.
Yeah.
I can't. I cry a lot in that movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's really emotional.
It is.
The performances are incredible from everybody. That might have been the first thing I saw Sam Rockwell.
I think it was the only thing I seen
at
Sam
the time.
Rockwell in. And he was great in it.
So gross and creepy.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the guy's name that he played Percy.
He's in Fisher King. He's great.
He's such a prick in it.
Yeah.
Oh
no, Percy. No, sorry. I meant the other guy. The little guy was from
the Cajun guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
Fisher
great.
King.
Yeah.
Percy, don't even get me started.
Fucking yeah. I don't remember that actor's name.
I don't remember many movies where I wanted where I've wanted to rip a character's head off.
Terrible.
Like I hated that little son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just an incredible movie. And a lot of other Darabont, like people show up in it, like William Sadler's in it. And
fucking Tom Hanks is
incredible.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the whole supporting cast.
You know my only problem with Green Mile is?
What?
The poster. Which I think is a Drew Struzan.
Oh, wow.
But the problem is, because he had a kidney stone, they made him look like he's sweating on the poster.
Right.
And I'm like, why would you make him sweating on the... Like, that's not Drew Struzan's fault.
Yeah.
But why would you... Just show Tom Hanks as the guard. You don't have to show that he sweats in the movie.
That's funny. I only kind of remember the poster.
Yeah, so all the posters for it, he's like glossy.
Weird.
Why would you do that?
Vaguely familiar, but yeah, it's anyway. If you haven't seen it, it's like very
it's brilliant.
It's supernatural. It does have supernatural elements.
Yeah,
but it's so it's emotional, and it's like you're gonna cry your goddamn eyes out.
Very heavy, very emotional. Funny though.
It does have a lot of funny moments.
Parts.
Yep, a lot.
David Morse is great.
David Morse, the other guard. He's another one of the guards.
Yeah.
And he played. He was on The Walking Dead. Not Herschel. He had he drove the RV.
Well, that's Herschel, isn't it?
No, Herschel was Maggie's dad.
Oh, right. I know what you're talking about, though. He was in Citizen X.
Yeah.
He played the Russian serial killer.
He's kind of like one of those great character actors.
I know his name, and I can't recall it right now. He's fantastic.
He's fantastic in it. He's in all Darabont stuff.
Yeah, he's great.
It's bothering me. I can't even think of his character's name on The Walking Dead.
I know. It's bugging me.
Yeah. Rar. People at home who know are like shouting at their thing. They're like, "It's this! You fucking idiot!"
Damn it, Lee and Bill.
It's just it's like I mean, it's a perfect movie in that there's like no flaws to it, but it's a heartbreaking movie, and
it is. It really is.
Even like James Cromwell has like a small part in it. James Cromwell and I'm so bad.
And Michael Clark Duncan. I mean, we haven't even mentioned him yet.
God,
he's
just
amazing.
I feel like I heard a thing that he didn't want to, or he wasn't sure he wanted to do it at first. And there's like another actor or something that was like, "No, you should absolutely go out for this because you would be."
Jeffrey DeMunn.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought his name was different. He's great though. But yeah, Michael Clark Duncan is just. I'm so sad he passed.
Yeah,
he was such a great performer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. I just gotta
find. I'm looking at my. It's rude that I'm looking at my phone during the.
No, that's
Dale.
Fine. Dale, thank you.
See, I would have gone crazy if I didn't look at that. But it's funny looking at my phone at the cast. There's so many people we didn't mention that are great
in Green Mile.
In Green Mile,
Patricia Clark,
Sadler.
She's great.
Yeah, Patricia Clarkson.
Yeah.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Oh yeah.
Barry Pepper was
Barry
the
Pepper.
other guard.
He was one of the other guards too. Yeah.
Graham Greene was in it.
Fuck.
Who I love.
Yeah, he's great.
So yeah, Bonnie Hunt. So many people.
Yeah, it's got an incredible
great.
Cast, and so it's
Green Mile's amazing.
So what's next on the list?
So the funny thing is, after that, there was 4 years with no Stephen King movies, which is odd because at this point there's almost a movie a year since the 70s.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I wonder why.
So in 2003 they came back with Dreamcatcher.
I saw that,
which was very The Thing-ish.
Yeah, I feel like I remember I was just okay with it.
Yeah, I was just okay with it.
Yeah,
it was very The Thing. But there was some cool performances and there was some cool stuff
Morgan
in
Freeman
it.
Was in it.
Huh?
Morgan Freeman, right?
In Dreamcatcher?
Wasn't he?
I don't remember him in that.
Swear to you.
I know the guy from Homeland was the main one of the main characters. The redheaded guy from
I don't
Homeland.
know why. I mean, maybe I could be wrong.
No, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so there could be.
But yeah, I think I only actually saw it the once. Yeah, it didn't like super stick with me or whatever. Yeah, Morgan Freeman, Thomas Jane.
Oh, Thomas Jane, right. I love Thomas
Jason
Jane.
Lee, Damian Lewis. That's the...
Right.
Hey, Timothy Oily Pants is in it.
Huh.
I love Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, me too.
Tom Sizemore.
Another great guy.
Donnie Wahlberg. It's got a great cast,
Yeah.
but it didn't really do it for me.
So this period, the early 2000s, is funny because I guess nobody was interested in Stephen King.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Because there was a 4-year break before Dreamcatcher, and then in 2004 was the Salem's Lot remake, which is nothing.
I don't.
And then there was
that.
nothing again until 2007.
Wow.
Really weird.
Yeah. There was like Secret Window in there with the Johnny Depp. But
yeah, right.
That was like
I forgot that I didn't
barely.
write some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was forgettable.
Next.
In 2007 was 1408.
That's another one. A lot of people really love it, but
yeah, there's
I
people
feel like
that
I
love
saw
it, and I
was
didn't
like,
care for it.
Just so with it.
Yeah, I wasn't big on it
because the effects also were still kind of like effects felt like new CGI, and I think there was a lot of
and even though
CGI
it
stuff
was
in
a
it.
theatrical movie, it felt TV to me.
Yeah. There's something about it that just didn't super click with me.
But that same year, Darabont comes back with The Mist.
The Mist. Jesus Christ. It's funny because that one also has some effects that seem like not great, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, but so many of the effects in that were practical.
Are also great. Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't mind.
God. The Mist is incredible.
I love it.
And I had gross shit too. Like the spiders with the like acid webs. Yeah. All that stuff was crazy. And
shit like in the back of the grocery store when the kid is checking under the door and he gets like
tentacles
ripped apart and
insane.
And again, very emotional because like the deaths in that movie hit you hard.
Totally, yeah.
Especially the controversial ending.
Oh my God.
And I don't know if you've ever watched Darabont's preferred cut in black and white.
Oh, I think I have actually. It was really cool.
It's really good in black and white.
I just, I mean, most people, I won't say what the ending is. Most people know what it is.
Yeah, most people know.
All that I will say, one thing is that was not the original ending. And apparently Stephen King, when he saw the movie, he's like, fuck, I wish I would have thought of that ending. Which, I mean, that's high praise, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
I think the first time I saw it, it was not the theater. It was at home in my old apartment.
Right.
I believe I was by myself.
Yeah.
And this sounds like such a maybe a stupid reaction, but I don't think so. I wasn't expecting
stupid.
I wasn't expecting that ending. That happens.
Yeah.
The ending.
Yeah.
I legitimately felt like somebody punched me in the stomach.
Yeah.
I went into my kitchen.
I think I went like, no. I think I just kept saying no.
I couldn't. I felt like the wind was knocked out of me. I went into my kitchen and literally did like a shot of whiskey and sat there with like my arms on the counters, just like I felt like my entire life fell apart.
Yeah,
because I never had an ending of a movie like.
And it's funny, a lot of people hate it, and I love it. I love that ending.
Oh, I love it too because it's so like. Yeah. Guess what? Fuck you. I don't know. Yeah. It was just. Yeah. If you know, you know.
It matched the movie for me. Like it had to go there to me.
Yep. I loved it. It's always a great.
Again, Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Come on.
So good. I love
Thomas Jane's great.
Yeah.
He did a great direct-to-video movie called Standoff with Lawrence Fishburne. And it's literally about Lawrence Fishburne's a guy who's sent to kill him, I think. And it's in a farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. And the whole movie is Thomas Jane's upstairs with a gun and Lawrence Fishburne's downstairs with a gun.
Interesting.
And the whole movie is them talking to each other and trying to figure the thing out. Really
That's
good.
Pretty cool.
Really good. But Thomas Jane's great. Then again...
It's a fucking
big weird. 6 years. There might be some stuff in there I'm not mentioning because I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But
really
6 years until the Carrie remake.
Right.
In 2013, which we've already discussed, and I enjoyed it. 2014, one that a lot of people don't know. I think it was direct-to-video called Big Driver.
Oh, I don't know.
It was based on a short story, and it was with Maria Bello and Joan Jett.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's really good.
I never heard of it.
It's a revenge story, and it's based on a short story from one of his anthologies.
That's awesome.
Really good. Check it out. Look, I'm sure
What's
it's
it called
on
again,
demand.
sorry?
Big Driver.
Big Driver. Neat. Okay.
Excellent.
Is that the prequel to Baby Driver?
Yep.
Okay.
Then 2016, Cell. Cell is one of my favorite Stephen King books. It was.
I think that's a book I think I did read. I
Did you?
believe when
It was
when I
awesome.
was in Alberta. I don't know.
the scale of it was massive.
Right.
It was a
I
big
think I did
inspiration
read it.
for my book.
Yeah.
I stole a lot of stuff. from
Hey,
that,
that's all
out of
great
Cell.
artists do.
But the movie is really mediocre and forgettable. But because I have a fondness for the book, I enjoy it.
Sure. Yeah.
John Cusack and Sam Jackson. I mean,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same year, another miniseries, 11/22/63, which was about a guy who time travels to try and stop the Kennedy assassination.
Oh, wow.
Really
one I never
interesting
heard of.
miniseries.
Interesting.
It's didn't blow my mind, but really interesting and had some really cool stuff in it. There's some misfires in these years. Like people are trying.
Really weird. Yeah.
2017 was The Dark Tower, which is another thing that kind of seemed unadaptable.
Right. In 2017, was that the one with like Idris Elba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much forgettable, but worth checking out for Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey,
All right.
who were both good in it.
Tower. It's dark. It's dark
And it
in the
has
tower.
it has some cool fantasy action elements. It just isn't what
Right.
it was supposed to be.
Right.
You know? But some cool stuff.
You know who said they wanted to remake that or redo it? Flanagan.
Really?
From what just
Interesting.
fucking give it to.
That could be
Do
good.
the Elm Street remake
Speaking
first.
of Flanagan, that same year, Gerald's Game for Netflix.
Wait, you skipped over.
I know, but it's the same year, though.
So
I'm
I
just
didn't
doing
realize
it
that.
in a different order.
I think this is alphabetical. Yeah, Gerald's Game. Holy
Just
shit.
Stop, Lee. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. So Gerald's Game, hard to watch.
Holy fuck.
Some crazy shit in that.
Yes.
And a lot of things were like,
Again,
I didn't really know what was going
doesthedogdie.com is
on.
a great website for certain
yeah,
triggers.
definitely look up trigger warnings for Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
But it was another one that people kind of deemed unfilmable.
Yeah.
But thanks to Mike Flanagan and Carla Gugino, who is
Oh,
just,
she's the best.
don't even start.
Oh
She's
my good lord.
just awesome.
Yeah. My wife.
Hard to watch, heavy,
Yeah.
but super well done.
Yeah.
And then the same year, of course, the mega hit comes out. The first part of Mega Hit. For It.
I fucking love it.
I fell in love with it.
Me too.
I was absolutely taken with every frame of it.
Everything about part two we'll get to later. Part two not as much as the first one for me. I still like it.
Not quite as much, but I still loved it.
I still like it. Cast is great, but the kids, they
kids
cast
were-
the best
the kids
kids.
sold it. Yeah.
So good. Holy shit. They're all so good.
All amazing.
Yeah. Fuck. And Bill Skarsgård was incredible.
Yeah.
Like-
and scenes that literally made me like gasp in the theater.
Yeah.
Like the home movie screen.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I literally just
Yep.
about shit myself when that happened. It was crazy.
He's so good. It's obviously when it was first coming up, there was like the debate, like Tim Curry's the best and blah, blah, blah. But it for me is like how Bela Lugosi and Gary Oldman both play Dracula.
Yeah.
Very different, but both equally great. They're very different from
Tim
each
Curry
other.
was great in his role for the time, but
Yeah.
I will never take him over Bill Skarsgård's
Me either.
Pennywise.
Skarsgård for me, by a country mile,
Oh, it's a Freddy
which
Krueger.
is how you measure.
It's a Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
It's an all-time classic, iconic horror performance.
Yeah, he is. He's absolutely. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
It was. I loved it. I love it so much. Everything about it.
The next couple of years saw mainly TV stuff. There was a couple seasons of a show called Castle Rock.
I didn't see. I wanted to see that. I heard it was pretty
Actually,
cool.
really, the first season,
Okay.
forgettable. The second season, which is about Annie Wilkes from Misery as a young woman.
And I love that actress that plays her, and I forget what her name is right now.
Yeah, she's
because I
great.
forget everything, but she's amazing.
But that season I loved.
Cool. Okay.
I thought it was great, and I highly recommend checking it out. And also another series premiered in 17, when a couple seasons called Mr. Mercedes.
Okay.
He was in Banshees of Inisherin with oh my God, and he was in
Barry
28 Days
Keoghan?
Later. No.
Robert Carlyle.
No, God, why am I
Cillian
so
Murphy.
bad with names? What?
Cillian Murphy.
No. The bearded big guy from
Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of his name either.
God.
28 Days Later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say Weeks?
I don't remember.
Brendan Gleeson.
Brendan Gleeson.
I don't know why I forgot his name, because he's like one of my favorites. I love
Brendan
him.
Gleeson.
So Brendan Gleeson is this guy he's a former cop. I think he's retired when it starts. And he's trying to catch a killer who is one of these fucking psycho assholes who drives a car into a group of people and kills a bunch of people.
Okay.
So he's trying to catch this guy, and that's why it's called Mr. Mercedes, because the guy drove a Mercedes into the
crazy,
and it's hard to watch. Like they portray it brutally and realistically.
Oh wow!
But Brendan Gleeson is amazing in it, and the second season goes more supernatural.
Huh.
And when I watched the first episode and I'm like, this is the story? Fucking stupid. And I ditched it because the first season is not supernatural at all.
Okay.
So it threw me. And I was like, but then I went back to it and really enjoyed the second season.
Okay.
But highly recommended, especially just Brendan Gleeson's character is one of the
He's
most
a great actor.
Fleshed out characters I've maybe ever seen.
Wow. Cool.
Really great.
Interesting.
Another Netflix movie in 2017 called 1922 with Thomas Jane.
That one I didn't see, but the next one we talk about I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1922 was great. Thomas Jane was great in it. Really cool story, dark, really well done. The next one. What are you talking about next one?
It's a 2019. It was a Netflix movie.
Which one?
In the Tall Grass.
Oh, I didn't write it down.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I like that one
Wilson.
too. Yeah.
Patty Wills, my bud.
And really weird.
It was very weird, but I was like, it was really cool.
I enjoyed it too.
We just watched it the once, but I was really surprised.
Well, if you liked that, watch 1922. I think you'd really like it because they both have a very similar dark feel to them.
They kind of came and went too. Like, I mean, I know they're Netflix movies, but I liked it. I'll watch
That's
anything.
why I think when they're streaming, it's like a lot of hullabaloo when it first comes out, and then it just
the only thing I hated was it's not even a poster. It's like the screen kind of grab, whatever the fuck you call it on Netflix, because it's like it's just bad Photoshop where it's like Patty Wills' face and then they Photoshop grass and then they just Photoshop these two hands kind of pushing the grass aside, but it's like it doesn't fit it at all.
I've had to do that in so many posters I've designed, but I do it better than they do.
Hire Small Dog Design for your poster design.
Exactly. 2019 was also It Part 2. Which we talked about a little bit.
Yeah, great casting.
I really like great cast. Jessica Chastain's amazing.
I love her. Yeah. Fucking Bill Hader.
Yeah, Bill Hader was
another
great.
one of my workshop voices that I'm working on. Bill Hader.
Do Bill Hader doing Alan Alda.
Yeah. Alan Alda by a mile. Country mile. He's great.
Your Alan Alda's not bad. Like, I mean, it doesn't touch his, but it's not bad. But yeah, It Part 2 I loved.
Yeah.
Lots of great stuff, lots of iconic scenes, and the showdown was really well done.
Yeah. It was funny that they killed him just by insulting him. And then he melted into that weird looking puddle.
But it was a little we're silly, not scared of you. Like, it wasn't really
I know. It was just kind of funny. I still loved it.
But I loved it. Yeah. And in the same year, Dr. Sleep. Come on.
Buddy. I fucking love Dr. Sleep.
We could do a whole episode on Dr. Sleep.
Maybe on
I remember being so excited because 1, it was Flanagan.
Yep.
2, it was Ewan.
Yep.
And 3, it was The Shining. So I was like, I'm there.
Holy shit, yeah.
And then when I went to see it, I just wasn't prepared. I was like psyched. And then I had no idea that I was going to be in for that.
Yeah.
Because it's so fucking well done.
Yeah.
That it's, for me, only a millimeter under The Shining.
It works perfectly with it,
you
know, and it's like I'd never read the book, and all I had heard about was like it's about like psychic vampires or something, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
so I knew nothing about it, story wise,
and
anything.
The True Knot are like maybe my favorite group of villains ever.
Yeah, holy shit, they're all so good. Sometimes I told you, like sometimes I'll watch like reactions of people watching movies on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I just like seeing other people get to experience cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I've watched several people watch Dr. Sleep because I love it so much.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it makes me want to rewatch the movie again. The visuals are so fucking incredible.
Yeah.
All the dream stuff, like when Rose the Hat
best dream stuff I've ever seen.
That's why he should do Elm Street.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can almost.
And the little girl who played Abra.
She is incredible.
Amazing.
Such a fucking good actress.
Yeah. And Rebecca Ferguson.
Oh my God.
As
Next
Rose
level.
The Hat.
Yeah.
From that first scene with the little girl, which I thought, I don't know if it was intentional, but that scene felt like the scene from the original Frankenstein.
Very, yeah, the flower and everything,
felt
right?
Just like it.
Yeah, by the water. And then just like the other guys start showing up and stuff. Again, amazing character actor who's in other Flanagan stuff. And I'm going to forget his name. We talked about him before. Robert Stone Street. That's not his name. But he was in like Halloween Kills. I know people didn't like that, but he was in Midnight Mass.
Robert Longstreet.
Longstreet. I got it close.
Yeah, he's great.
He's amazing.
And the guy
native. Dude.
Yeah, Zane McLaren.
Okay, I love that.
He's
dude.
in a TV series. He's the head of lead in a TV series called Dark Winds.
Oh wow,
that's about tribal police.
Cool.
And holy crap,
that's
Dark
amazing.
Winds is great.
He's showing up in a lot of stuff lately, and he's
been in a ton. And he's an amazing actor.
Yeah, I can almost not watch the scene where they kill the baseball boy.
Yeah. Who is an amazing actor.
That kid is incredible. I love the story, though.
He's from Wonder.
That Flanagan talks about how the actors, when they're filming that scene, that kid is so good.
That they were all put off
the
by
actors,
him?
Flanagan's like, that's great. Guys, you can't, because the actors were like trying to hide their face and not cry because the kid was so convincing.
Yeah.
It almost, it brings me to, like, I almost can't watch it. It's literally bringing me to tears. I definitely have to go to therapy. There's something about kids of that age that are like sad or in pain that is like, it's really ripped something out of me emotionally.
Yeah. Jacob Tremblay.
Holy shit, that kid's amazing.
He is. He's fantastic.
And they said it was so funny because Flanagan's like, to the adult actors, like, guys, you have to act like you hate this kid.
Don't care.
Like like this is fun to you and stuff. Yeah. And the actors had such a hard time. And then when they're like, cut, and the kid's just like, all right, that was great, guys. Like, let's go get some fucking mac and cheese or whatever.
He's a consummate professional.
Yeah. And then, but then the adults were just like, like, fuck. Yeah. It was emotional. But everything about it is so good. I love it. The whole showdown at the end at the Overlook.
The stuff at the Overlook. And that was a change that Mike Flanagan was smart about because in the book, the Overlook's burnt down.
Yes.
And it just takes place at the ruins.
Okay.
There's no hotel there anymore.
Nice.
So to make it actually go back in the hotel, and his fucking eye for detail
insane
in recreating that was nuts.
Shocking. Yeah. Even the shots, like when Ewan was applying for that job at the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like they recreate, and Bruce, what's his name from Bruce
Gerald's Game. Greenwood.
Yeah.
He's
who he uses a lot too. He was just in House of Usher. Like he's the guy at the desk, and it's like it's recreated like even down to the stack of shit on the desk.
I remember watching the movie, and he goes, and I'm like, "You're not in the Overlook, but that's the hotel."
It's exactly it. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Awesome. Like I wish that movie would have done better.
Apparently, they were like, if there was a fire extinguisher in The Shining, it was in this one. If there was like everything, if that chandelier had 19 bulbs, it has 19 bulbs in his.
That's so crazy.
The detail was nuts.
I think they on the set, they built a adult size big wheel. And all the actors and Mike Flanagan were like zoom around the halls. So that's super fun. It's an incredible movie. I wish it would have done better. But
what's Henry Thomas's
holy shit, his Jack,
the ghost of Jack.
Yeah.
Is uncanny.
God. And I wish I knew the actress's name who played Wendy.
Oh my God.
Holy fuck. That blew my pants off.
She's been in a bunch of stuff and I love her.
Yeah. Because she's in a lot of Flanagan stuff as well. She's just incredible.
I'm going to find her name because we have to say her name.
Yeah, say her name. And then also you look up the IMDb for Dr. Sleep in general because the dude who also played Scatman Crothers. Well, like
Carl Lumbly.
Oh my God, that's it. That was shocking.
He was channeling him.
I couldn't believe it.
Freaky.
I couldn't believe it. Like I was almost like, that's not him.
Alexandra Esso.
Okay, great.
She's great.
So fucking good. Flanagan works with the best people.
And it's weird because again, she had to have been channeling because when she said Danny, it was crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, are they using old audio?
Yeah, that's almost what I thought. Same with when Henry Thomas is in the hallway with the accent goes, Danny.
Yeah,
it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, the director's cut is worth.
The director's cut is the phenomenal way to watch it.
Everything about that movie is so good.
You know what pissed me off is they put it out on 4K and I bought it and I'm like, yes, and I get it home and the theatrical cut's in 4K and the director's cut's on Blu-ray.
Womp womp.
And yet you can stream it in 4K.
Weird.
And I'm like, come on, dudes, you have it in 4K. Ugh.
Oh, well, at least it's like, you're supporting an amazing movie.
Yes.
That's kind of it for our list. I mean, there was a remake of Firestarter. You said you saw it?
Yeah, it was no good.
No, hey? Was it like story-wise same as the original?
It was just bland.
Okay.
The little girl's pretty good.
Okay. Zac Efron?
Yeah, Zac Efron was the dad, and he was pretty good too.
Okay.
But I think it just failed in the direction was flat and the script was flat.
Okay.
It's too bad.
It's kind of like
Zac Efron's great.
I do like Zac Efron.
I'm a big fan.
It's like the Pet Sematary remake. It was just like flavorless.
And the Children of the Corn remake recently too. I was really excited because I'm like, Children of the Corn done right and seriously would be a kick-ass movie.
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it was bland as hell.
Did any of the kids sound like Eric Cartman?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well, then I'm out.
One sounded like Stan, but no.
The rest sounded like Kenny.
It was terrible. But anyway, so supposedly Dark Tower is coming. I don't know what else is coming.
They're doing a new Dark Tower.
Yeah, I think so.
A miniseries or a movie?
I don't know.
I feel like that's something that would have to be a... Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Huh.
But I think that's in the works. I don't know what else is coming Stephen King wise.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't even know that I've heard of anything like in the works. Maybe we're going to get another one of those batch of years where nothing comes out.
I hope not.
I hope not too.
Yeah. But anyway, I think my favorite out of all those 2 episodes is probably Dr. Sleep.
I love
it's just so good.
Any Stephen King movie is Dr. Sleep.
Maybe.
I do love it. I also love the
Shining,
themes of and Flanagan I think does this in some things is I had this in the notes in my Flanagan thing we're going to do, but just like, because Mike Flanagan has also been sober for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I know that's because obviously Danny Torrance, that's part of his journey in it.
Yeah.
And I loved Ewan's speech in that about like this, that was as close as I could get to my dad.
And dude from the dude who played his sponsor.
Yeah. He was on Fear the Walking Dead.
God, I hate that.
We're bad for that.
He's great though in everything
really
he does.
Good. Really,
He's
really
always great. But yeah, I just
my love for Dr. Sleep is I connected with it so hard. I really hope over time it becomes one of those ones people really love.
I think it's already gained a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It deserves it.
But yeah. So there you go. That's our Stephen King wrap up.
Yeah. Please let us know in the socials, what is your favorite Stephen King movie?
Yeah. Or I only left out stuff that I wasn't fond of or that was really forgettable.
Yeah.
So if anybody, give us
somebody's
your
like, no love for Dolan's Cadillac, you asshole. Like,
or sometimes they come back.
Oh my God.
Sometimes they come back too.
Yeah. Sometimes they keep coming back.
Yeah. But let us, or just share your love for Dr. Sleep because we always love to do that.
Absolutely. If you haven't seen it, please go out and watch it and then let us know what you think because we would love to.
And apparently King loved it too. So
yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah.
God bless you, Flanagan.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring more Mike Flanagan. Just make Mike Flanagan. Come on, make 6 movies a year.
Yeah, I know. Clone yourself and make more movies.
Just love his stuff so much.
Yeah.
But we do have a Mike Flanagan exclusive episode all on his films coming up. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. That's coming soon.
Yeah. And keep going, Stephen King. Keep going, Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week on Real Ramblers.
And this episode of Real Ramblers is brought to you by Budget Impressions that either aren't very good or Lee is still workshopping.
All right.
What say you, Paul Giamatti? Okay. People are always asking why I sound so nervous all the time. And I think that's because I lived in a world without the Real Ramblers for so long. But we got it now, and it's pretty good.
That's not bad. That's not bad. You're workshopping that pretty good. Pretty good.
It's been in the canon for a while, and it's like, it's kind of he seems nervous a little bit, and even if he feels really good. That was a nice touch. That was a nice touch. He has a podcast.
In all your comments, let us know what you think of Lee's impressions.
I found
nothing about the podcast, just impressions.
No, Giamatti has a podcast where they talk about monsters.
That's right, because I just heard him on
Jaw Jabbering or something or other, but it's there.
If you want more impressions, come back to Real Ramblers next week.
Or tell me who I should impersonate, and I'll try and learn it.
All right.
I'll do my Picard next time.
All right. Talk to you next week, folks. Keep on rambling.
We love you.
Thanks for listening to The Real Ramblers. Follow us on Instagram at Real Ramblers. That's REEL Ramblers. And you can follow Lee at Lee Howard _art and Bill at JustTheBill1138.